I don't think it'd be really fair of me to call myself a Shoreline Mafia fan of any sort. They're a group I've definitely had like a respect for and I paid attention to, but I've never really actually sat through until now a full project from them. I definitely have respect for what they've done. I've mostly just heard singles here and there. They're kind of this group. They're kind of like that one rap trio that has like they're the type of rap trio that has like the really big, really great hit bands, but like you never really had the intention to go and explore them. Because I freaking love that song, but like I never really had this like intention. I never thought I want to go check out more of Shoreline Mafia's work, and it's not because I really like it's not like because I was bored by bands. I think it's a great track. I just think their overall sound on that track led me to enjoy that song. But they were kind of this group that I thought, well, judging by the style of that song, I highly doubted they would actually have good material under the surface. And they were just a group that never really struck me as something I needed to check out. Then reading through hip hop on Wikipedia, I learned that I didn't even know this till today, that their debut album dropped, which is something I'd be interested by. I'm interested to see if it's any good, because while they're not a favorite of mine, it's something I'm interested to listen to and know if it's actually worth the quality, if it's good. And I always have understood that Shoreline's nothing, they're not going to go out and make anything amazing. They're not even going to really hit any emotional points. It's just, they're mostly here to party. That's literally what the description on Spotify says. They're just a party group. And I respect that. I respect that they're not trying to go bigger than they have to go. But like, overall, it's a type of group that I've full of respect to them for the way they're doing their music, because if you do take a second to listen to this new record especially, they actually rapping style wise exceed a lot of people in the game right now. Like they exceed people. I honestly think listening to Okkkk and Phoenix Flexin, those guys are more enjoyable to listen to and have more talent and are more creative than rappers like Future. And this album can find itself being a lot more entertaining to listen to than something like High Off Life or Eternal to Take, whereas those albums follow a very repetitive pattern for an hour plus. This is an hour plus, but it's switching it up because there's multiple rappers on this. They're switching up their lyrics, even though there are very cliche Shoreline lyrics that you're able to pick up. If you listen to this record one time, you'll just know all these cliche lyrics. But they're people whom are actually giving a little more aggression to this music. They're not nasally rapping. Their voices aren't too watered down. It's kind of like they're using the same trap banger sounds, but like they're actually adding things to it and rapping creatively over it. So I had no reason to go into this album expecting anything but enjoyable. I didn't expect anything great because I shouldn't expect that from an album like this. But I sat there and I thought, you know what? This should be fun. This should have an enjoyable sound to it. And it should, generally speaking, have a nice trap banger to it. And overall, as the album starts to roll, it definitely does follow that very well. I think all the rappers give great verses. The opening track, Run It Back, is a very hyping, very energetic sound to it. And then tracks like All the Time and F It Up aren't songs I particularly love, and I don't know if I'm really going to revisit them much. There's some tracks that I enjoy. They have a nice sound to it. They have Continue the Trap banger sound. They all have great verses from everybody on this. I personally think... I don't really know exactly who of these guys is my favorite. I would honestly say that I really do enjoy... I think they're a fine group. I don't know if any of them really strike me as amazing. I think Okkkk is the one that kind of brings the most freshness to it, because not only is he white, he's actually saying the N-word on this album. I don't know why people aren't like yelling at him for this, because he's literally saying it. Or maybe it's a logic situation. I haven't done enough research to know that, but because Wikipedia, my God, gives no information on these guys, because they're not actually that popular. But after like this kind of opening, we have the track Change of Life, which I kind of like the obscure beat to it. I don't think it's anything that really hit me that hard beyond just kind of enjoying it, but it's something I find worth entertaining, and it's something I could definitely play again. Same with Big Tymer. It's a pretty disposable track, but still relatively entertaining. I think Poe the Drop is actually the song that made me realize what's giving Shoreline Mafia this advantage above some rappers, is that they're more energetic and they're trying to do more. And that's because there's a Future verse on it, and it's the worst verse on it. I could tell from his voice, he was a lot more watered down. I didn't really feel like Future really tried on this. And then there's supposed to be a Future Lil Uzi album, but so we get a verse from him on this. It's not a great verse, because I don't even think Future's going to deliver a great verse. Do the Most is actually a pretty hard song. It has a lot of really nice sounds to it. It ends up becoming one of the most banger songs in the entire project. Perc Popper Perc Popper, is one of my least favorites on this, and I don't think it's inherently bad. I just think it finds itself being very disposable. If it was not on the album, nothing would change. It would just be a shorter album by 2 minutes now. It's just kind of a waste of time. I think Holds On Musty Freestyle is actually might be my favorite track off this. I think it has a really nice energy to it. I think that all the rappers give a great performance on it. Drakeo gives a fantastic verse on it too. It's an entertaining track and actually has a lot of energy to it, which is what this album successfully does. Over something like High Off Life, which I just listened to recently. My God, that album has no energy to it, no excitement at all. It has some good tracks, but nothing exciting about it. There is something exciting about songs like Hold On. But then we kind of run into the problem this album. Actually, not at this point. Now we have How We Do It with Wiz Khalifa, which ends up being a good track. Because I'm already somebody who's going to enjoy something with Wiz Khalifa. I like Wiz Khalifa. I think he's a fine rapper. He's something great. He's not changing the game, but he has a nice voice to it. He pronounces words correctly. He's fun. I actually quite enjoy what he's put out. And I'm actually very excited to hear a new Wiz album this year. But after this point, the album starts to kind of see what my problems with it are, which is that it doesn't really need to be this long. It is 21 tracks long, and it does really feel like that. As we get onto tracks like Bitches, like, you're rapping about other types of girls. Okay, it's fun, but like, why is it here? Like, it's another just party anthem on this album that's already kind of too long. Gangstas Sippers is actually one of the best songs on this. It actually has a lot of energy to it, and I enjoy it a lot. But like, after this goes on, Hoe Shit, On the Low. Okay, On the Low actually is the worst thing to come out of this project. I kind of hate this song. It's not that I think Shoreline does a terrible job. I don't even think they do a good job. I think it's Kodak Black's hook. I don't know why anybody has ever given this guy close to a microphone. He is one of the worst rappers I've literally ever heard. I don't know how people enjoy him, because I guess I can respect maybe more of an emotional side to it, but he's singing, but he can't freaking sing. This hook is so obnoxious. It sounds whiny and annoying. I hate it so much. I cannot understand Kodak Black's at all popularity. And especially on this, the problem with this track is its attempts to feel like love, like it's supposed to be kind of their love song. And this, which every trap album is they're gonna try and do that. They usually fail, but they're gonna try it. This song just, it sounds like it's trying to be romantic, but it is being so overly sexual. It is so opposite of romantic. And then we have this terrible Kodak Black. I just could not honestly take this track. And Brand New, the way this album kind of goes down, it doesn't really end on a high note, really. Most of these ending tracks find themselves being really bland. Brand New is just kind of useless, honestly. Fully Loaded, I don't know, I didn't really need that. Ride Out, okay, let me ask this. Who still gives Lil Yachty verses? He is old news. I don't really hate Lil Yachty. I think there are times where he does recognize that he's not good at all. But it's just kind of like his performance on this song is just bland as everything. And then Fucc Cuh, I guess that's the way this album ends, is kind of repetitive, honestly, in my eye. And then the album ends off with a track that's not really from this album, Bands. I'm not going to include it as a track on this album, because it's that'd be kind of like including Dyer by Pop Smoke as a song for Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon. They just threw it on to get the album more popular. But if I were to include it, it'd honestly be by far the best song on this album. The Bands is a great song. Please go listen to it. But overall, would I say I was disappointed by this? No, I think this is a thoroughly enjoyable yet flawed project. I think this could have been 15 minutes shorter. I think this could have been this didn't even have to be, God no, this didn't have to be 21 tracks, an hour long. I know it's supposed to be a debut album, but this could have been easily cut 5-8 tracks on this. You'd have a solid, a little over 10 songs album. It might be kind of short, but it would be good. You know, some of the shortest albums are some of the best. Illmatic's 39 minutes. I just feel like this didn't really need to be this long. And I feel like some of the tracks go on way too long. Like the fact that Hold On, Musty Freestyle, I know it's kind of two songs together, 4 minutes really. Certain songs like Poe the Drop, 4 minutes. Some of these songs go on too long. Some of them just aren't even necessary to the project overall. It's an enjoyable album that's going to get you hyped and has a lot of party tracks that are great for background, like if you're playing let's say a video game, listening to some of these songs could be fun. It has a lot of nice trap bangers on this. But overall, I don't really feel like I'm ever gonna like go back and revisit really anything from this. Personally, besides bands, I think my favorite tracks would be, I think first I'd say, I think the opening track, I have to scroll up and down. I think the opening track, Run It Back, would actually be one of the best on this. It has energy to it. It's exciting. It's a great intro. I would say Hold On, Musty Freestyle is a great track too. Gangstas and Sippers, also a lot of fun there. Overall, I enjoyed this a lot. I enjoyed this fine. I just think this is just okay. And it didn't have to be just okay. I never would have expected Shoreline to put out a great record, but they could have put out something a lot shorter and a lot spicier. Instead, we have this enjoyable yet watered down long album. I'm definitely excited to hear what Shoreline will do in the future, and maybe if I do go back to listen to their work, I'll just be more disappointed by this because their other work really only tops at like 30 minutes, 20 minutes each album. But overall, I feel like this could have been better. It wasn't bad, but I don't really ever see myself revisiting this album on a frequent basis. I feel like for Mafia Bidness, I'm feeling a B. That's a good score. It's solid. It's not bad, but it definitely has flaws. It's definitely not perfect. I feel like this is somewhat on par with, I actually think I like Legends Never Die more, because both these albums suffer from the same problem of them just kind of dragging on and having the same thing over and over, but they still end up being good and enjoyable in the end. Both of them are just flawed. I think I do like that one more. I actually think I even like Sleepy for President more. What do you guys think on Mafia Bidness? Let me know in the comment section below. I know I'm going to get no reviews on this because nobody's talking about this, but I thought, I know about Shoreline Mafia, I've heard of them, so I thought, okay, I'll give their debut a listen, and who knows, maybe they'll come back with another album later this year. That's a thing rappers like to do now. Or they'll come back next year and I will be interested by it. Who knows? See you guys next time. Bye.